All right, so welcome to the Chaos Corner. This is our podcast. With us today, we have.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Pub.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm currently eating cabbage.
And I'm Herring, and I'm very bad at organizing.
Oh, aren't we all?
We're all just trying our best right now.
Yes, as is the person who wrote Is Lava Wet in Topics to Discuss. That's a thing. Someone wrote that. And now we're going to have a discussion about it.
I mean, hypothetically, I can understand because it does behave a bit like a liquid, so you could perceive it as being something that's wet, but also at the same time, no.
Well, like, it is a liquid, but I don't think that all liquids are wet.
True.
Yeah. And also, wet is something used to describe something that is not a liquid being coated in liquid. And if you're a liquid, you can't be coated in liquid. You can just be a larger liquid.
Wait, we might be cycling into the topic of is water wet? Because water technically is wet.
It doesn't matter. How we can't discuss lava for 20 minutes. It's lava. None of us have even seen it in person.
Excuse you, don't assume my life. I have not seen it in person, but...
That's what I thought.
I would like to have seen lava in person.
Knowing me, I would trip in it.
Well,
I
if
mean,
not all liquids... Yeah.
I mean, I'd hope you wouldn't trip in it. That would be very unfortunate.
I think unfortunate sums up a lot of myself.
Oh.
Also,
Yeah.
I don't think you can really touch lava because has anyone ever seen the videos where they like toss like watermelons into a volcano? And
No,
like the rapid cooling that like the water causes or something like that makes it explosive. So hypothetically, if you were to fall into a volcano, you wouldn't just like sink below the surface and melt away. You would violently explode.
I suppose that's a better question mark.
Lord of the Rings lied to me. That would have been a way cooler way to have that scene play out.
Alright, yeah, I'd imagine it would be a little more dramatic to have people violently explode by touching lava, but
It might have been pushing the CG budget at that point.
I think
Okay,
it might also
that's
cut into the
fair.
tone a little.
Just very serious and somber moment, and in the background, like orcs screaming and exploding. That would be very nice. I feel like that would actually be a little bit of a highlight.
That'd be a great fan edit.
Alright, who wants to do the orcs exploding like holiday fireworks edit for Lord of the Rings?
As much as I'm tempted to, my skills lay in very, very bad Photoshop. We'll have to find someone who's video editing skills.
Just throw a bunch of
Video
pop
editing
snaps
skills.
and record it and put it in the background.
Just a ton of like pictures from a stock image site of fireworks, lava, and then film.
That's an idea.
I like that idea. Or, oh, you know those like little like tiny, I don't know what they're called. They're like tiny explosion rocks. You like
Pop snaps.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Throw a bunch of pop snaps. They're now orcs in Mount Doom, or wherever orcs happen to be incinerating.
What was the volcano called in Lord of the Rings? It had like a
Doom.
specific name, didn't it? Wait, it
Yeah, it
was actually not.
Yes, very creative. I know.
It's such a dramatic
Oh,
name. It feels
We have
like
to go to Mordor to destroy the One Ring in Mount Doom.
It feels like a joke name.
It does.
Everything else has like these incredibly like complex names or like very fantasy sounding names. And then I'm just imagining like, some like little people in Middle Earth just being like, wow, that's a really big volcano. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, it's very ominous. We should name it. What do you think we should call it? Mount Doom.
A bunch of Americans named Mount Doom. That was their only contribution to the world of Lord of the Rings.
I like to imagine, you know how like canonically Lord of the Rings is supposed to be like translated into English from one of Tolkien's conlangs?
Right.
Yeah.
So I like to imagine that it wasn't actually as silly sounding in the original language, but the person who translated it just was like, why not? Let's just make it Mount Doom.
They couldn't understand the person who said the mountain name, so they just put down Mount Doom as a last resort.
Just like, oh man, I need to get this book off to the publisher, and then like the editors made a note of like, no one can pronounce this name, change it. So like, oh, I've got like 2 seconds. Mount Doom, like, that's it. Okay, submit.
No, this tour guide, he told me the name of this mountain 3 times, and I didn't hear him any of the times, but he's already said it 3 times. I can't. Is it impolite to just ask him again? You know what, I'm calling it Mount Doom.
Exactly, that's perfect.
Love that. Yeah, I mean, after you've asked the 3rd time and you still don't understand what someone has said, it's gone too far. You're too far down. You've just got to pretend that you heard.
Oh boy. Well, segue on to the next topic.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, speaking of Mount Doom, how about that immortality? There, that's a segue.
I feel like this is going to become a running theme.
Horrible segues?
Yes.
I think horrible segues really fit with the vibe of the podcast.
Oh, you know what? Why don't we discuss segues? The stupid little... it's like the aux board, but with a stick attached to it. And I can't tell if it makes it look more or less stupid than an aux board.
They were the first, like, kind of... what are they called again? Like hoverboard things. They were like the first iteration of it, but they're so dangerous. And I'm pretty sure the inventor like drove his like off a cliff or something. I need to look this up because I'm pretty sure this is true.
You're the creator of the Segway. Unfortunately, you have not mastered your own creation, and unfortunately for you, you live near a cliff. And you are trying to master your own invention, and it falls. It drops you off of the cliff.
Jim Hasselden, locally known as Jimmy, acquired the Segway company from its U.S. inventor Dean Kamen in December of 2009. And according to the British media, Hasselden, at 62 years old, plunged into the River Wharf while riding a rugged country version of the 2-wheeled transporter on Sunday.
He was not worthy.
Oh, so it wasn't the creator, but he did own the company?
Yeah, the owner. So.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds like...
I shouldn't be laughing, but...
That sounds like one of those children's movies where the evil person gets their hands on the magical artifact, and then it decides it isn't worthy, and so they just die or get teleported to Kansas or something.
Teleported to Kansas.
Is Kansas some sort of hell-like place in your mind?
No, it's just the closest to the void the world has, except for space.
Closest to the void the world has is the bottom of the ocean.
I feel like...
You're right, but also Kansas is funnier.
I feel
it is funnier.
Oh, what's happening?
Sorry, I did just read further into the article. He went off a cliff and into a river. It did kill him. So, for anybody listening, please don't ride a Segway near a cliff. Please.
Please don't ride anything near a cliff.
Maybe someone somewhere far in the future has stumbled across this. Oh, what's this? I'm gonna go into my cliffside Segway riding. Oh, wait, no. That's actually a terrible idea. Thank you, podcast.
To the future alien listening to this, you're welcome.
To the one person who is planning on doing exactly what we just said not to do, you're welcome.
To the one person listening to the podcast who wasn't actually part of making the podcast, you're welcome.
Fair enough.
I feel like riding a Segway next to a cliff would be pretty fun, though.
I mean, it would be if I was strapped into a harness and a bungee cord. Otherwise, maybe not.
I mean, there are better ways to taunt death.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be the first person to drive a Segway off a cliff and die. It's not original.
Yeah, what's the point?
You've got to be extra. Like, you've got to, like, if you want to do it, you've got to drive off, like, the cliffs of Dover or something.
Cliffs of Dover? Wait, which Dover?
The white cliffs of Dover?
I don't know those. There are
These
two
beautiful,
Dovers.
very, very tall cliffs, and they're like bright white. They are beautiful.
All you needed to say is Dover, Delaware, Dover, United Kingdom.
United Kingdom.
All right.
Hey, Cherry.
Cherry! Hello! We're talking
Hi.
about driving Segways off of the Great White Cliff of Dover.
Oh.
Yeah.
We meant to segue from lava to immortality, but we segued into segways.
Wouldn't it be fun to, like, maybe a fun way to go would be to drive a Segway off of, like, Mount Everest.
Oh, wait. How about this for
But
a
then
prompt?
you'd
Express
have to-
route down.
But you'd have to, like, carry the Segway all the way up Mount Everest.
Oh, no, they did invent like a helicopter that's light enough to get like pretty high up the mountain. You would get horrible altitude sickness because you're not acclimatized, but you'd be going down the mountain pretty fast in your Segway anyway, so it wouldn't be that much of an issue.
And also, like, this would probably result in death. So do you really care if you're already airsick, mountain altitude sick before you
Fair point.
crash to your spectacular demise?
Just imagining
That is
someone
a-
climbing up the mountain later, because like, they never bring the bodies off the mountain, so they're all there basically. Just, slugging up the mountain. They've like paid however much money to get across the world, to, like, go to Everest and climb the tallest mountain in the world, and there's some moron frozen in the ice with a Segway.
They're perched straight upright, straight back, standing on the Segway.
Well, I mean, there's so many people who climb Mount Everest these days. There's like people on there all the time.
Oh, what was it? I think it was this like it was around this time last year, I think. It was at the end of the season, and there was this picture that was posted online of this line to get to the summit across the Hillary Step, which is basically the last obstacle you got across to get to the summit. And it was this massive lineup of people, basically like toe to heel. There were so many people on top of this freaking mountain. Anyways, but they're
If you
saying like
really want
tourists
to
are getting
get
crazy.
like out in nature, don't go to Everest. Basically,
There's no nature there except for rock and snow.
and a lot of poop.
Yeah, they don't clean that mountain at all. The fact that like human waste is one of the biggest what is it? One of the biggest pollutants on the mountain, or one of the biggest
And-
sources of trash.
And it's so cold that
Gross.
it can't like biodegrade or anything. It's just frozen.
And then like the only way it does get off the mountain is if someone picks it up and brings it down, or if it falls, and then it gets into streams and rivers and stuff and pollutes everything even more, and it's disgusting.
Bring a
Carry in-
miniature catapult. And then
Carry
just
in, carry
catapult
out
it off the
needs to-
mountain.
That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. I think carry in, carry out should include your poop, though.
Mm-hmm. You bring in food, you bring out waste.
Yes. Basically. And, bonus, it might even decrease the amount of people going to Everest.
Well, the problem with the whole tourist thing is that basically if you have enough money, you can summit Everest. You don't need to be in the best physical condition because people can basically carry you up the mountain at this point. So
Oh my gosh.
you have to pay a fee for every bit of trash that you leave on Everest. But people kind of just incorporate that into the cost of going up Everest. They're just like, oh, we're bringing this much trash, so we're going to have to pay this much of a fine. So they just pay it.
That's gotta be rough for the people who... Actually, I don't think anyone owns Everest, do they? Or would it be
No,
what is
but
the
there's
Nepalian government? Nepalese?
there's a group of people who live there who have acclimatized over generations to the low amounts of air, who are often the tour guides.
Sherpa.
Yeah, that.
That is
No, they're very, very ticked off.
I would be too. There's a bunch of idiots dying on your mountain, and then people are saying, "Oh no, just leave them there. Just keep them. Get used to them."
Leave all their trash and poop and dead bodies up there.
I'd imagine you got to be at least a little bit smug if you see someone litter on Mount Everest, and then you see them dead up on a trail, and you live there. It's like, oh yeah, that's what you get for littering, buddy.
I feel like I would be petty enough to go back and get the trash and leave it next to their dead body and be like, "You forgot this."
Don't mess with Mount Everest. It'll be the "Don't mess with Texas" anti-litter campaign again, except this time with more death.
Sorry to be down.
Sorry, that scream that you may have heard before was my brother.
It's alright.
Don't you worry. We scream a lot. We don't.
Well,
We haven't yet.
I've got screamy siblings too, so you guys might have to watch out for that.
Also,
I have 3 very loud dogs, so if it sounds like there are 10 dogs barking, those are my dogs.
Don't
I
worry.
live on university campus, so if you hear yelling, it is people on my floor.
I'm extremely nervous because if I say something dumb, then it'll be forever preserved, and I don't want that.
Don't worry. It's okay. We
It's
say
okay.
exclusively dumb things on this.
This podcast is to highly concentrate the dumbness in one area.
Yes.
Also, I'm not very awake right now, so hard for me to focus on whatever you're saying.
Neither am I. I'm tired. Don't worry about this being bad, because we're quite new to this, and you can tell by how we're just apologizing like it's a normal voice chat. Anyway, on from that, I have a prompt for you people. You are immortal for as long as you are on a Segway of any kind. Oxford,
I will die
immediately.
Segway. You will be fine if you step off of it. It's just that you cannot die while on it.
Oh, okay, but what if we stand on the Segway for 500 years? If we step off, would all of our age catch up to us at once, and then we vanish into a pile of dust?
Alright, so we have 2 options. You have to stay on the Segway forever or else turn into dust, or you are completely unaffected by the passing of time or bullets or drowning or anything of the sort so long as you are on a Segway.
Well, that sounds nice. Then I can.
I like the second option more.
Yeah, I think the passing of time should affect you while you're on the Segway, just not other things that might kill you.
Well, then you wouldn't be immortal.
It'd be like a certain type of immortal.
Well, that's a third
Invulnerable.
different type. That's neither of those.
Immortal means like live forever. Invulnerable means nothing can hurt you. So you're invulnerable so long as you're on the Segway.
Yeah, that's what I want.
And vulnerability so long as you're on the Segway. Wait,
Could
you do
you-
realize
And
that
and then you can ride the Segway off cliffs. See, perfect.
what does immortality on a Segway or invulnerability on a Segway matter? How much time do you plan on spending on this Segway?
I will fall off immediately. So
Are
2
you
seconds.
kidding, Pub? I'm going into war on this Segway.
But I'm figuring at the worst case scenario, the absolute worst, you spend however long you spend sleeping off of the Segways. So if you sleep 8 hours a day, you just age a third as quickly.
You think I can't sleep on a Segway? Watch me.
Like, it wouldn't be that hard to just strap yourself to the Segway and then, like, do normal everyday things.
Oh wait, that's something. How much of you has to be on the Segway for the invulnerability to take hold?
Your feet
I'd
have
say
to
your
be on
feet.
it.
Yeah.
Both your feet?
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, the image of someone handstanding with a Segway stacked on top of them just coming to my head.
Also, I hope.
Amazing. It's beautiful.
Well, if you were on a Segway and drove off a mountain, you'd have to be strapped to the Segway or else you'll just fall off.
Oh wait,
Mhm.
does air resistance affect you on the Segway?
Yeah.
No,
it's-
you just
Oh.
get like a nice little force field before you hit the ground, and you just bounce until you've lost all your momentum.
No, what I'm saying is the air will push you up so your feet are no longer on the Segway.
But has anyone here ever been water skiing? Like, the rubber boots basically that hold your foot to the ski. Put those on a Segway.
Here's my modified Segway. I use it to sustain my immortality.
No one ever said we couldn't modify it. I'm going to dye mine fuchsia for your information.
Wait, if you do oxboards count?
I don't know
Right.
what an oxboard is.
Oxboards are the hoverboards. They're the Segways without the stick.
Oh, yeah, they count.
Now, if you sawed an oxboard in half,
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
oh,
You're compromising the backbone of the Segway structure.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just theoretically. What if it's a magnetic? Like it can attach back together.
When it deattaches, you lose your immortality.
My question is that if you were to jump off a mountain with the immortality Segway, would you break all your bones and then be like...
No, you will not break all of your bones on the immortality Segway.
So long as your feet remain planted to the Segway.
Yeah, the Segway puts up a force field that just bounces you and the Segway along until you're no longer at death speeds.
So, would it be possible to just jump into the ocean and live in the ocean forever?
Atlantis, but make it Segways.
I love the idea of like an evil doctor type character, and they've managed to create immortality, but they can only do it in the stupidest way possible.
Lord Voldemort put on an oxboard. He's just going around at 3 miles per hour, jinxing everything while standing on his oxboard.
Like you made it.
He's charging into battle.
You made a deal with death, but Death said, "Okay, I won't kill you, but only if you're constantly standing on an oxboard."
I'm imagining him like in the scene going across the bridge to Hogwarts, and he's going on a Segway, and it's going super slow, and he's looking very frustrated, and then his cloak gets trapped in the wheels, and he just face plants into the ground.
He's slowly going along the path, and then his cloak gets caught, and then he does a flip, and the oxboard goes flying off the side of the bridge, and that's the big scene. And then Harry jumps off out of Hagrid's hands and jinxes him, and he dies. Because his oxboard of immortality flew off the side of the bridge.
Yeah, it wasn't like his soul splitting up. It was just the oxboard the whole time.
Well, what if it was a gym scooter? Like those things from Gem of Immortality? That would be even better.
One of the square scooter things from Jim that gives you immortality when you're on it.
Those get caught on every crack you'd ever be able to get anywhere.
No, that would be terrible because you can't. There's no propulsion like with an oxboard or a Segway. You're just forever stuck, just standing there. Or you need a land oar of some sort to move.
You have a servant whose only job is to push your little scooter.
Dude, I have to get to the battle by 4 p.m. We need to go. Sir, it's 4 days. It's 4 days early. It's only a kilometer away. Do you really think I can get there on this butt scooter in time? Come on, guys.
Well, if people with wheelchairs can move around easily enough, if not fast, comfortably, then someone with a permanently attached gym scooter can do the same.
I don't think battlefields in like fantasy lands are conducive to accessibility. So if we're arguing logistics of like getting around, it's not going to be simple.
Well,
I mean, I'd much rather have an immortality wheelchair than an immortality Segway, but like, it's not silly enough.
you probably could
sorry,
just put, like an immortality Segway or gym scooter on top of a like wheelchair and do whatever you want.
I like how someone said, all right, the gym scooter of immortality isn't suited for war. Who says, oh great, I'm an immortal, let me join up with the military immediately?
No. It's not that you've joined up with the military, it's that you lead the military.
You are the evil overlord.
Then you probably have other means. You probably have a car or something that you can drive. You're probably not on the front lines.
But, like, it's just so much funnier to imagine someone, like, on a very slow Segway, like, leading their troops as they march into battle.
I'm just imagining Ride of the Valkyries playing over someone with an oxboard going into battle.
Has anyone seen Hobbit Battle of the Five Armies?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That scene, but Segways. Everyone's got Segways.
Everyone's on a Segway, and the only way you can beat someone else is by knocking them off of the Segway and then hitting them.
Exactly.
That sounds like the kind of game that, like, people would play with gym scooters in gym. Like, I don't know why I keep thinking about gym scooters in gym, but...
I mean, it does sound like...
another sport.
Yes!
This is just jousting.
We've reinvented jousting, but with immortality, and stupider.
I mean, if it's immortality, it's probably safer.
It's...
Wait,
yes.
if you've strapped yourself to the gym scooter, wouldn't you just tip over if you got knocked over instead of, dying? You'd just be stuck. You need help. You'd have to get life alert, too.
Help, I'm on the battlefield and I can't get up.
I've fallen and I can't get up. My scooter feet, they're too unwieldy.
Maybe, and then the one person who's an acrobat is just, like, walking on their hands the whole time.
Well, would you be able to, like, just get another gym scooter and just attach both of them to your feet? So then you just have weird
Big rollerblades.
roller skates.
Oh yes.
They are too unwieldy for that. But wait, do you get to choose what position your feet are? Oh, wait, no, you just need to be on the gym scooter. That changes things up quite a bit because you can lie on your stomach.
It's of immortality.
Wait, if you taped it to your back, would it still count? Or does it have to be with the wheels touching the ground?
I think you'd have to be like on it. Like for if you had it taped it onto your back, it would be on you, not you on it.
Alright,
The
so the
wheels-
wheels have to be touching the ground.
Yeah, because then it won't be fun.
Like sit on your scooter.
Basically, I think the rule is if it no longer looks ridiculous, it no longer makes you immortal.
I think it just
Yeah.
has to be they are touching the ground and functioning.
It has to touch the ground, it has to function, and it has to look as stupid as possible.
No, that one's just the bonus. You look stupid doing it.
The stupider it looks, the more invulnerable you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you may live forever, but your dignity died the second you touched it.
What would
Like
you
the-
trade to be immortal? Anything. Your dignity? No, it's too great a price.
My hubris.
It's not your hubris, it's just your ability to go anywhere and be taken seriously in any capacity.
So how about if you have like a really cool looking scooter, you are immortal technically, but you still can like break your bones and they take forever to heal.
You
But,
just
like,
have
this-
regeneration, not
Yeah, but the stupider and stupider it looks, the like less injury you get from anything. So like the cooler your immortality is, the stupider your ride looks.
The cooler your immortality, the less cool you must become.
Basically. And then
A small price to pay.
And then if we had those Segway wars, if it went on for like a couple hundred years, you wouldn't even have to like stab someone once you knock them off of their Segway. They just turn into dust.
Oh no.
Who goes at a war for hundreds of years? I feel like it would have just, lost a bit of its luster by then.
Everybody just got really bored and decided to go do other things like make ramps to everywhere.
It's just the war zone became a skate park instead. That was their solution.
All right, we settle this like men. I'll see you at the skate park tomorrow too, man.
We settle this like men. The big ramp over on the west side. You, me.
And the butt scooters.
You, me, and the gym scooters at the big ramp Friday at 7. It's just dueling. Who can stay on the scooter the longest?
How
Oh,
about you
jeez.
can stay on the
I think we've
scooter
like
on a river?
we've
Like-
reinvented everything but stupid.
Okay, but like, what if you had to like jump into a moving river with nothing but your scooter?
That
Like,
depends.
does it prevent you from drowning?
Yes, but the question is, can other forces pry you from your scooter?
Oh, sure.
Definitely.
Alright,
If
then
I
you
picked you up
probably
and just
drown.
like pulled your scooter away from you and just like yeeted it off into the bushes, you're gonna die.
Okay.
Alright.
So if you had like a really cool looking scooter, your lungs would be full of water if you were underwater on your scooter. But if your scooter was really dumb, you have like an air bubble around your head while you float around. And if it's really, really, really dumb, you grow gills.
Alright, so if you get a cool enough scooter, or rather a Not cool enough, Scooter.
Turn
You become a
fish.
Lovecraftian abomination.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What's it? The Shadow over Innsmouth?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty sure there's an item like this in Terraria where you turn into a fish man every time you enter water.
I love that.
That reminds me of that one time I ate a cookie and turned it into a fish.
Wait,
What?
Yeah, okay then.
when?
It was a month ago, I think. In a server, someone offered me a cookie and I ate it, and I turned into a fish.
Are you
Oh,
still a fish?
I see.
I don't know.
I think we were talking about something, but now I genuinely forget.
We went from lava to segways to Everest to immortality.
Yeah, oh yeah, we were back on immortality. Oh yeah, we could also go in the direction of Terraria if we so chose.
I mean, like, we did cover our topics. We just covered them with segues.
All of our bases.
How do we segue to the next topic? Well, what about segways?
That was actually a really good segue for like moving on to the next topic. Like,
Alright, let's segue with the segues. Onward we go.
Well, it's time to segue into an exit, maybe.
That's convenient because I have to leave in 3 minutes or else I'm going to be late to my piano lesson.
Alright, well,
Perfect.
here is us on our segways. Segueing into the sunset. Everyone make their best segue noises. What noise do they make?
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast.
Yes, thank
We
you.
were joined by Cherry, Owl, Pub Fries, Visa, and myself. And this one is going to be edited by Alku.
Yay.
Everybody give, like, 3 cheers for the editing team.
Oh,
One,
they're saving our lives.
3, cheers.
Cheers.
Woo.
um,